With just a little more than 1 week until the season begins, the Sun Belt Conference has released the 2017-2018 men's basketball preseason poll, as voted on by the league's 12 head coaches. For the second year in a row, UTA is named the preseason favorite in the Sun Belt, earning 9 first-place votes. The Mavericks finished last year's campaign with a 27-9 record. UTA will once again be led by Kevin Hervey and Eric Neal, who will continue to show why Sun Belt basketball is on the rise. Neal led the Sun Belt last year in assists per game, was second in steals, and for the second year in a row has been named to the preseason first team All-Sun Belt. The Mavs open up play at home against Loyola Marymount. Coming in second in the Sun Belt preseason poll is Georgia State, with 1 first-place vote, up from 1 spot from last year. The Panthers will be without Jeremy Hollowell, but have a number of leaders returning, including Isaiah Williams and DeMarcus Simons. Simons earned the 2017 Sun Belt Freshman of the Year honor following a remarkable first season where he averaged 13.4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. The reigning Sun Belt champions, the Troy Trojans, come into the season ranked 3rd, also receiving 1 first-place vote. Going into last season, the Trojans were picked 9th. Troy's roster hasn't changed too much from last year, so will the Trojans end up being the dark horse and the team to beat come tournament time? Rounding out the top 5, led by Tookie Brown and Ike Smith, Georgia Southern is ranked 4th, and Louisiana comes into the year ranked 5th. 2017 Sun Belt runner-up Texas State was voted to finish 6th, followed by Arkansas State, who will be under new leadership for the second year in a row. Coastal Carolina and South Alabama were voted 8th and 9th respectively, with Little Rock, Appalachian State, and ULM earning the last 3 spots. Looking more in depth at the preseason favorite UTA, also for the second year in a row, the Mavericks' Kevin Hervey was named Sun Belt Preseason Player of the Year. I caught up with both head coach Scott Cross and preseason Player of the Year Kevin Hervey earlier this week. Let's take a look. Well, Coach Cross and Kevin Hervey are joining me now. And Coach, congratulations for the UTA Mavericks to be named a preseason favorite in the Sun Belt. Just what does that honor mean to you going into this basketball season?
Well, it means we'll have a little bit of a target on our back. Obviously, it's a compliment to this guy as well as Eric Neal, Kalen Wilson, the rest of our guys. We have a very talented group. But we know we're going to have to bring it every single day, and we have to get better every single practice in order for us to have an opportunity to win it come March.
And with that target on your back, kind of how do you handle that pressure and those expectations that will come with it?
The same way that we did last year. I think we have to take each individual day and we have to focus on just getting better during that day. You can't worry about where you sit in the standings. You can't worry about what everybody else is saying. You just have to control the things that we can control, and that's getting better today, that's getting better tomorrow, and playing as good a basketball as we possibly can. We're not always going to be able to hit all our shots, but we can control our defense, we can control our rebounding, and do all those little things that help a basketball team be successful.
And before we jump into this season and what you're looking forward to most, let's take one last look at last season. Now, you guys, I'm sure you would be willing to say, kind of had a roller coaster of a season, had some big non-conference wins, but at the same time had some upsets in Sun Belt play, and ultimately fell short in the Sun Belt Conference Championship, and then made it to the NIT and fell short there as well, unfortunately. So kind of just how do you look and kind of scout out last season, and how did you go into the off season, and how did the team go into the off season?
Last year was extremely successful. We broke a school record and most wins in school history. We won a Sun Belt championship for the first time in school history. So I was very proud of what the guys accomplished. Obviously, we did come up a little bit short in terms of going to the NCAA tournament. That was a goal of ours. But I think over the long haul, our guys did extremely well. Winning a regular season championship is very difficult. Winning a championship, whether it's regular season tournament, we know it's very, very difficult. And you have to play together as a team. You have to bring it every single day. You got to have a little bit of luck on your side in terms of injuries and guys staying healthy and the ball going in. There's so many things that go into it. So we were very, very blessed and thankful that we did win the conference championship. We had a great group of guys that worked extremely hard, that played together, that fought for each other, and I think that's why we were ultimately able to do it in the end. And, this year we want want to repeat, obviously, as conference champions, but we also would like to go to the NCAA tournament. So it's a monumental task, but I think these guys are up to it, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
How have you seen the camaraderie kind of evolve and develop in the offseason with the team and some of the newcomers?
I think they've been doing great. I mean, we have a lot of returners. We're a very veteran team. I think there's great team chemistry up to this point, and I think it's something that's going to continue to get better. We have great pieces. I feel like offensively we may be ahead of where we were last year. Once our guys get that defensive and rebounding components down, I think this team will do some really special things this year.
And Kevin, off of that, how do you see the team chemistry? You know, as a player, Coach Cross can tell me what he wants, but when you're out there actually kind of with your teammates, what have you seen in the offseason?
Coach Cross recruits a certain type of guys. Everyone who comes in here is usually laid back and pretty cool people. So we connect off the court, and there wasn't too much of a spelling period that we need to have. You know, the guys came in and they were all pretty cool.
And then for you, obviously, back-to-back preseason Player of the Year honors. Just what does that mean to you individually?
My focus is mainly on trying to win basketball games and doing what he preaches, which is toughness, doing little things right. I want to make it to the NCAA tournament this year, and we want to compete next year.
Everyone always wants to know the latest update in your health and your rehab. Obviously, last year coming back from your injury, and you weren't fully 100%, but you knew when you might need to sit out and take a rest. So where are you at this point today? How are you feeling? How's that knee?
I'm ready to play basketball. Good to go.
That's fantastic to hear. And off of that as well, just when you look and think about what kind of player you were when you first stepped foot on UTA's campus as a freshman to where you are right now, how have you seen yourself grow?
I think when I came in as a freshman, I was a pretty smart basketball player. I don't think I was very athletic, wasn't very explosive, but working with Coach Cross, the strength conditioning coach, and all the coaches really here, they helped me to mold my game into what I believe is going to be good.
And then Coach Cross, back to you, and we'll finish this one up. You know, when you look at the state of college basketball right now, where do you see UTA and the Sun Belt Conference in relation to all other teams?
I think the Sun Belt Conference is definitely one of the top mid-major conferences in the country. I think the top 5 or 6 teams can compete against just about any team in the country. And then I feel like, even 10, 11, 12 could beat anybody in our league at any given day. So I think it's going to be more competitive even than it was last year. I think we were 13th in the conference RPI overall as a conference, and I think it's going to be better this year. So I have a lot of respect for the players and the coaches in the Sun Belt League. It's going to be a bloodbath almost every single night, and whatever team is ready to play every single night over the course of the long haul will be the team that comes out on top. And then conference tournament time, it's whoever's playing their best basketball at that time is probably going to be crowned the champion and go to the NCAA tournament. Our guys are up for the challenge and can do those two things. It sure would be nice for the program to be able to accomplish those for us.
Well, Coach and Kevin, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations on the preseason honors, and we look forward to seeing the success that you all will have this season. And best of luck in your first couple of games.
Thank you.
Basketball season officially begins on Friday, November 10th. For all Sunbelt recap, scores, and more, be sure to stay locked into sunbeltsports.org and follow all of the conference's social media accounts.